I just returned from taking our seniors on their annual trip to Europe. 100 miles of walking, that's over 200,000 steps, and 300 flights of stairs. Now, why would we do that? Let me discuss our approach to travel. In the classroom, when we travel historically and when we travel through literature and science, we're always talking about ideas and how they are played out in consequences. We do this now visually in Europe. Yes, it's a vacation, but it's also an educational time. We start in Rome, the cradle of Western civilization, and look at the beginnings of the church and how it influenced its culture. We move up to Paris, and there, at one moment, we stand in front of Notre Dame Cathedral, built in the 11th century, and we also look next to it, Hôtel Dieu, the first hospital in Paris, and that's the Hostel of God. And then also next to it, we see the police department, where so in that one square, worship God, take care of the sick, and fight the evils of the human heart that destroy society. This is a worldview being played out, a Christian worldview being played out. Those are the consequences of ideas. From Paris, we travel up to northern France, and we deal with other consequences. We walk the beaches of Omaha and visit the cemetery, where human beings had to fight the evil ideas of lust of the flesh, the boastful pride of life, and lust of the eyes, where nations wanted to take what were not theirs. And young men and women died and shed blood to stop the evil consequences of ideas. We travel up to London, and we end our time in Cambridge. Cambridge University, a school, a series of colleges that was designed really from a Christian worldview that man should be educated, should discover, should learn, because it is God's world to discover. And there was one young man we focus on at St. John's College. There, at his name William Wilberforce, and there at college, he came to Christ. And his biblical worldview was played out in the political arena. He fought all of his life an evil concept of slavery, the bondage of human beings against their will. And because of his Christian worldview, at the end of his life, and Britain outlawed slavery, and he was put his head on his pillow of death and realized, I fought a good fight. This is what we do on this trip, and it is this is also what we do in the classroom. It's the culmination of an education that we provide at Eastwood. And before we hand them a diploma, we want them to fall in love with the good, the true, and the beautiful, these ideas, and then go out into their world that God has given them and fulfill new consequences for the future until Jesus' return. Now that is worth all those miles and all those steps.